step back for Cooper. He hits another.
That's what he can do really well. He can stroke that fridge.
Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. It's Coops Hoops, and today I'm going to discuss a topic very near and dear to not only me, but basketball fans all over the world. Is Kobe Bryant the best player of all time? But before I get into that, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, as I'll be discussing NBA topics and basketball topics in general on this channel. With that being said, let's get into the topic. If you were born in the year of 1995 like me, you'd probably be more adept to agree with this statement, as you got to see Kobe Bean Bryant in his prime. I remember waking up the day after he dropped 81. I think I was 10 years old then, and I didn't watch the game. But my dad woke me up the next day excited, saying, Kobe scored 81 points last night. And I was like, what? There's no way. I didn't even think that was possible back then. In his earlier Froby days, I didn't have many memories of watching him in real time. Of course, I've gone back and I watched those games and highlights. But growing up watching the struggles after Shaq, and then watching him get POW and achieve 3 straight finals appearances and 2 championships in a row, that was a great time to be alive in Southern California. He was the hero of all heroes, and I'll miss that era of basketball in the late 2000s, early 2010s. There were so many stars. You had Kobe, LeBron, Melo, Dwight, D. Wade, Dirk, Tim Duncan, KG, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Paul Pierce, older Shaq, older T-Mac, and older Allen Iverson. There were so many more in that era too that really made impacts. But in my opinion, I think Kobe triumphed over them all. He of course needed help, just like any other star. I don't think anybody in the NBA has ever won a championship without any help. And that includes Dirk. A lot of people like to say Dirk did it on his own, but he had plenty of help. And guys that are in the Hall of Fame or will be in the Hall of Fame or the Hall of Very Good. One thing that won't support this argument of Kobe being the greatest basketball player of all time is his numbers. I know today you have advanced statistics and PER and all those numbers. They will say Kobe was a little overrated all time. That's why you have companies like Bleacher Report or ESPN, when they do their all-time rankings, they'll put him in the 10 to 15 range. I think that's ridiculous personally. I like to put context into my arguments when it comes to him being one of the greatest of all time or the greatest. I consider his age when he came into the league. He was a young boy. He wasn't even 18 at the time when he signed. His parents had to sign for him when he got drafted. And then he had big playoff series at the ages of 21, 22, and 23. Not many 21, 22, 23-year-olds are even in the playoffs at that time. During his age 21 playoffs, when he won his first ring, he averaged 21 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, on 44% shooting and 34% shooting from the 3, 75% from the free throw line. Like I said, most players at this age aren't even in the playoffs, and most aren't even big contributors to a championship team, let alone the second best player on the team. His age 22 playoffs were even better. With more experience and age, he averaged 29 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, on 46% field goal shooting, 32% 3-point shooting, and 82% from the line. If you look at these numbers are crazy for a 22-year-old, playing inside the most dominant big the game has ever seen. Probably the best 1-2 punch combo ever. His last title with Shaq, at the ripe old age of 23, he was still dominant, averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, on 43% from the field, 37% from the 3, and 75% from the field. Efficiency took a little bit of a dip, but he was still effective and was still unstoppable. He was just taking tougher shots. So for the 3 straight championship runs at the ages of 21, 22, 23, he averaged in that span 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, and about 5 assists, on 44% shooting, 35% shooting from the 3, and 78% from the free throw line. Some amazing numbers for a player so young, also on par with his career regular season numbers. You knew that what he did in the regular season was going to translate to the playoffs. That's what separates the stars from the superstars. You see it today with people that can put up great regular season stats, but when it comes to the playoffs, the numbers play and dip. Kobe didn't have that problem. I'm not saying that he's perfect. He definitely has his flaws. He had to overcome his early year struggles, a la the air balls his rookie year he had against the Utah Jazz in the playoffs. But his hard work and dedication got him through those trials. Although maniacal at times, it made him able to withstand any obstacles in his way. He had the perfect blend of size, ability, and work ethic. You put all those together, and you get a player that can't be stopped in his prime. He can shoot and rise up over you, he can dunk over you, or he could even pass when he wanted to. He was a smart player. He played through injuries and never took games off. Unlike most players today in the load management era, Kobe would fight and play through anything. And if you had to choose a career that was the most perfect and the best, it probably wouldn't be Kobe's. He had a slow start and a tough ending, but he triumphed to 5 championships and all-time accolades. He averaged 25, 5, and about 5 for his career, shot 44% and 32% from the 3 and 83% from the free throw line. He made 18 All-Star appearances, 15 All-NBA teams, 12 All-Defensive teams, 4 All-Star MVPs, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 scoring titles, 2 gold medals, and 1 MVP. His skill set was so unmatched, even compared to Jordan, who he took his moves from. I would say his ball handling and three-point shooting and footwork could be either comparable or slightly better than Jordan's, who is the presumed GOAT. What Jordan had on Kobe is his bigger hands, efficiency, and his athleticism. Watching Kobe in those early 2010s was a sight to behold. He just had to be there in that time. For his last 2 title runs with Pau Gasol, he was at his best. Championship number 4 came at the actual ripe old age of 30. For that run, Kobe was on a mission to avenge his loss at the previous finals to the Boston Celtics. He averaged 30 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, on 45% shooting, 34 from the 3, and 88 from the free throw. Probably his best statistical run. Nobody could stop him that year in the playoffs, and as for his final championship ring at the age of 31, he still averaged 29, 6, and 5. On 45% shooting, 37% from the 3, and 84% from the free throw line. These are ridiculous numbers still at his age, and it even got sweeter that he got to beat the Celtics for his last championship ring. For that 2-year championship run, he averaged 29.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, on 45% shooting, 36% from the 3, and 86% from the free throw line. Just an amazing player and on another planet in his prime. Overall, for all of his championship runs, Kobe averaged 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, on 45% shooting, 35% from the 3, and 81% from the free throw line. He's an amazing player and a person that could lead his team, as you can tell by the numbers and by the eye test and by his will. I know the younger generation will say LeBron this, and the older generation will say Jordan that, and I'll understand those both. The numbers will agree with them too, but the eye test to me will always say Kobe beating Bryant. R.I.P. the Mamba.